what we're going to do here is going to start doing some videos just for the fitters so you can make a decision yourself, try and get you to think for yourself. So it's going to be a series of videos and they're going to be numbered like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's going to be a reference chart because to be honest with you, to try and get it all in one video is going to be absolutely ridiculous because it's just ongoing as far as what the capabilities of the Mawboards are concerned. However, the only way you're going to know they're any kind of good is to compare them to what else is out there, to what other methods or whatever techniques are going to be from back in the day, from the old boy Jeff who taught me, Neil Andrews who's come up with the other one with the Christmas tree, and then the Mawboards, which is the one that I've come up with. Now, the best way to sort of describe it, and these are going to be available now, so any of training academies if you want them, because if it's at your preferred way of training, is this is what you'd need if you want to describe in any of the plank sizes and that lot of tile sizes that are on the marked on the actual one there. That's all I've done so far because obviously, you know, I'll work them out, which is quite easy. It's just, you know, the diagonal of the tile across. But when you start getting to like 18 inches, it starts getting ridiculous. So that's what you'd need just to work on those tile sizes there. I'm also going to show you one that no one knows of yet, and that is these ones, which is a shorter size. Working on the same as the Mawboard technique, but for the comparison and just to like, you know, just get it in the ballpark and that lot, when it comes to the Mawboards, for all of these tiles and every single other tile there is out on the planet, one template. One template set up on one board and one system, and that will work on every single one of them, whether the wall is square or not. You forget, you know, that is with the 45 template that has rules that we will go over as well, but there's your comparison. This one template. So, you know, there are quite a few Mawboards. You've got to understand that this is not designed to complicate you. You shouldn't really, how you want to think of it is that there is, I mean, I've done videos like this before, but it's one board. It really is just one board in the whole box, because they're all just different sizes, aren't they? So as far as being confused and all concerned, you shouldn't be really, because it is just the one method, the one size, the one template. And once you learn that method, it's going to cover you for everything. You've never got to worry about cutting other different sizes, and we can show you this way, but it's basically, I mean, it's similar to, it's how it used to be done, but herringbone and that lord's only really come about fashionable recently in the last 5 or 6 years. So that is when everyone's really started learning how to do it, despite what they say. So, yeah, so we'll try to go through it all. And, you know, try and explain each bit, but I can explain to you and compare it for you, because I think that's where the confusion is. So, yeah, Mawboards is just one, and that is what you'd need to scribe all of those tiles, and at the same time, you have got to move the tiles into position, drop them back, and it's all this lining up, you know, it's part of, you know, it's a good technique, it's what's worked for years, but the game's evolved, and hopefully by the end of this, well, whether you want to or not, you know, at least you'll understand maybe better how the Mawboards sort of work and that, because it's not as confusing as everyone thinks, but it did take me 4 years to suss that out. So I don't expect anybody to ever just pick them up and just click it like that, especially if you've been used to it in other ways. It's very difficult to change. However, the method is standing true, and it is, well, you can make up your mind. In my eyes, it's better. But they're not just the only tools I've come up with. We've got these gun black workstations that are now in. I've just got to do the tops and put the ball nose grids on them. We've got herringbone straight edges, and we've got a pipe punch with what we call here is a Jeff square. Again, Jeff Square is the oldest one out of all of them. It used to be made by the old boy who teaches me, who's, my eyes, the best. You know, I've just never come across anyone like him. He's just a one-off. He really is. He used to make them out of tiles with a strip on the back. But what the genius of it is that it sits flush. You don't get a rot. So if you get a roof raft or any other kind of square, you've got that that rock on it. The simple side that they were actually square. That's why they were called square. So I actually put the angle on it. So, but when I done that, I didn't know how useful it's going to become until later on. But these, when working with the pipe, that is just, you know, I mean, you can literally scribe anything with it. I mean, you wouldn't have to. You've got easier ways of doing it, but if you wanted to, you could. So I think that's enough for an induction. Again, hopefully now the tools have literally been developed and have finally got to the point where I understand them myself. Like years ago at the beginning, it was never clear, but you know, I had to learn what else they would do. When you look at it now, you sort of think, oh, common sense, but it's not. It's not to anyone else that I've come across either. But for me now, it does make sense. So with any luck, I'll have a better chance of showing it to you guys. But then you can make up your own mind. You know, you can only make up your own mind if you know all the variables, don't you? So with any luck, these videos will do that. The actual Mawboards themselves have come along. They're taught or shown all the major training academies in the UK. Carndine, Antico, Floor Skills. We've got floor training going to get involved. Hopefully we'll get CPS assessments up north and that lot to get them on board. And with any luck, you know, because obviously years ago there were a lot of battles with some really good floor layers actually. But now it's all gone and that lot. I'm just hoping that the tools can just be given a chance by these academies, because if they want to teach the lads good stuff, then they've, as far as I'm concerned, if they're not teaching them all board, then they're, you know, I'd want to know why. But with any luck, by the end of this year, the goal will be that all of them do. You know, I'm hoping that, you know, the olive branch will be set out to them, and I mean that if any of them see it. If they wanted to do them, sell them, you know, they should be the ones. If I had my way, they would only be going through the academies. You know, your academies could get some extra money to support, you know, your facilities and help you in that way, and the greater good will be done. But you know, it will take a little while, or just to get to know them and just to understand them and give them a shot. So that is going to be the goal this year. There's a lot of fucking good floor layers I've seen, you know, so they would be even better if it came to the Mawboards, and they honestly would. So yeah, so we'll be showing you other tips along the way, like these little cutting mats and other things, little spiky stabs that I find usually when I'm mucking about or just going on Amazon, and it's a case of trial and error. Sometimes you get winners, sometimes you don't. So what I'm going to do quickly now is just quickly set out this 9-3 feet. Not set out. I'm playing around with my handbag strategy at the moment, and I figured something out yesterday. You know, if I wrap them up there, I can get that border cut in. Whether it's useful or not, I don't know. So, yeah, a little bit of the old deco adhesive. Thanks for that, Dean, for giving us this, and it's actually fucking good gear. Shockingly enough. You know, a little bit lively out the nozzle, but as far as spray adhesive is concerned, I don't think I've ever come across a better one. With any luck along these videos along the way, we'll also show you a few bits of the old custom tricks and that lot that I've done in the past. You know, explain to you about the guns rack, why it's good and how it's good. In all honesty, I've never really been one for Cumber Stars or anything like that, or the motifs and that lot. So, you know, that's never really been my forte. You know, mine is more when it comes to the custom work, I went more the freehand, and I introduced art into the game, being the first person to do like a portrait in LVT with a Marilyn Monroe. But the truth behind that, as impressive as it looks, and obviously taking on and that lot, you need to understand that it's so much easier to do that than it is just to lay a herringbone floor. You know, when they're doing those, you know, the kind of stuff, or anything like that where it's going to need a lot of like precision work and other work, that's more difficult than my freehand stuff, because freehand stuff you can't go wrong, can you? I used to just do mine with the drawing. You know, I used to use the tiles as my grid. So whatever, you know, whatever tile size I was working with, I'd do, if I was working with 6s, I'd make my grid 6 inches and then copy it that way. You know, I've just, as far as most kids are concerned, I haven't got the patience. But it, you know, it's more difficult, it's more your flooring thing than the artwork. The artwork is a hobby, that's how it started, it was a hobby. You know, I was learning airbrushing, and I was fed up with all my templates getting wet, so I cut one out of a tile, and that was it. But like I said, don't be bewildered thinking that that is any kind of advance or clever, or, you know, it's having the balls to do it, that's about it. But as far as the actual work's concerned, it's much harder to lay a normal herringbone, keep it online, keep it tracked, work it out. That, you know, that's flooring. But we'll also show you stuff that I do. You know, it's not the sort of thing you're going to find anywhere else, because I like to manipulate herringbone, so we can change a herringbone size and that lot to get your centre points and everything. And you know, we've just done one with Dan Parts. That was literally, you know, there was about 3 or 4 different roads in there, but you can't see it, and it does give you that freedom. We're going to show you how you can do that, because it's double-handed, it gets you out of trouble, and a lot of custom work I do is to get us out of trouble, because doing it the other one would be hard. But have a bit of fun with these anyway, we'll play around, but each time we'll just show you what tools and that lot, so give you an absolute comparison, because the only person who can make your mind up is you. One thing I will say, what you'll never catch me out on, is that every single tool that I show or recommend, I will swear by it. You know, absolutely swear by it. You know, you won't get a lot of them, I do, but the ones that I do, I wouldn't tell you they're good unless they're really, really good. I wouldn't get you to buy them unless they're really, really good. As for the Mawboards, this is entirely up to you. I'd sooner you learn the method than the tool. I mean, apart from the Hollyboard, they're quite a simple one. But if you actually learn the method and change your way of thinking, I can assure you it'll make you a better fitter. And the good fitters out there already that are, you know, just reluctant to try, and it'll make you better as well. So, any luck at the end of this year, the dream will be had. These are only just made so I can muck about in training booths, you know, taking it out to put a herringbone in, but they've turned out, this fucking thing has turned out to be, I use it for everything, because it's 3mm, I prefer running the knife down it if you're following it on a straight edge rather than the normal straight edges that obviously go to that point. And I had a bad cut with ply once, I'm sure a lot of you have done it on those ones where the knife slips off the edge, and every time I, every time I cut along it, I get that cringy feeling.